Good afternoon, everybody. How are we? It's been a bit of a busy one here, a bit murky and damp, but that's okay. I can just sit down for an hour and just have a bit of a chill out and just see where we're going today. I've got a plan in mind, I always have, and I wanted to just try a few different bits today, if that's okay with you. I'm definitely working on a cartridge tile, so it's the traditional cream cartridge, because I want to do a little bit of, I want to throw a little bit of water at it in a short while, let's put it that way. And I've done a couple of tests, which I can show you a little bit later, and you can see why I'm wanting to use this tile and not the super smooth. So, okay, what do I have with me today then? I've got my regular pen. Oh, I've got my pencil and I've got tortillon. It's a little bit tatty around the edges, look, but I can just glue that back together again and it'll work just fine, so I'm not worried about that at all. I've also got my Brunswick wood brushes, my pencils, or my pens rather. So you know there, it's thicker at one end than the other, so I can work with those. And I've also got my coloured pencils. Now again, it doesn't matter what pens and pencils you use, you see there, but these, I've got the same colours in the pencils that I've got in the pens, and it just makes life a little bit easier. So, okay. Oh, I've got a bit of water as well, so I've just got a bit of a water spritzer and some water in it. And we'll see how that goes a little bit later if we get a chance. So I have got a plan, and it's not as elaborate and it's not as big as Wednesday's tile, because of course we did 3 tiles on Wednesday. But I thought we'd have a look at something a bit different today. So are we ready? Okay. So I'm going to start straight in with my pen. Okay. Now let's have a look. It's going a little bit larger so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to go down the middle here. I'm just going to sort of come off to one side. I'm going to go this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right on the very edge, and I'm going to draw in a zigzag line. Okay. See, I'm just getting to the end, stopping, and then coming back and stopping. So I'm being very, very definite with those lines there. Oh, Lindsay, I know what you mean. I mean, we just made it on time, and then I thought, no, I've got no tiles. So I've had to run round to the other place to get the tiles. So it's all good. So if I'm a bit out of breath, that's why, because I've been running around trying to find a tile. Oh my word. I've got coloured ones here, but I've not got one of the cream ones. You'd think I'd have them everywhere, wouldn't you? You know, but I haven't. Okay, sorry. There we go. So we've got this sort of line. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to have a little bit thicker though, I think. Let's have a look. So it's, I'm going to go that way. So if I have a look at how thick that is compared to my pen, it's about as thick as the sort of the casing there. Okay. And I'm trying to sort of keep it in line if I can. But don't worry if it's not. It's fine. See, that's why I'm sort of turning it each time, because I can sort of gauge how far I'm going to go into it. Something else to sort of consider as well, I'm using the Sakura pen here because wanting to put water on it afterwards, I want this pen to stay put. So I know it's going to do that if I use this pen. So if you're not sure what pen you're using and you think, I don't know, then before you do it, then just do a test on something. But that's coming later. You don't have to do it. It's something a bit different. Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit larger this time. Okay. And this is my first one. See, no straight lines here today. Okay. Well, that's okay. I'm just going to join it there. All right, so let's just put a line in about the middle. Now you've got a decision to make here. You can either split this in the middle with just one, or you can aim for getting 2 lines. So it's just about, you know, breaking up that space. And same on this side. There we go. I mean, it doesn't matter which way you do it, but it's just to have a little think about that before you do it. So I'm going to turn again. And this time I'm going to join this side here. So I've got my little segment again. Look, no straight lines here today. Okay, so down there. All right. Oh, sorry, I'm off. I was getting all carried away then. Yeah, it's not hard, is it, to be fair? There you go. And down that one. And down that one. Okay. Celebrity North Wales. Oh my goodness me. I must admit, I don't watch any of the I'm a Celebrity ones. So eating bugs and things is not my idea of evening entertainment. Yeah. But that's fine if you're up for that. That's absolutely fine. It's just no. Okay. You see where this is heading? I'm just following this pattern down, and each time I'm splitting up the space just enough to get those little lines in there. Okay. Oh, isn't it lovely? Everybody saying, you know, asking how people are and saying hi. You know, it's nice, especially when, you know, we're all sort of shut down a bit more again. Certainly for the next few weeks, aren't we? Was it a week now? Or it just sort of seems to all drag into one, doesn't it? It's, but that doesn't matter for now. An hour where we're all here with friends. So, you know, even if, and I thought about this, you know, even if we were here now in this classroom, all working together, we'd be quiet. It'd all be really quiet now, and I might not even have to say anything. I know I can talk for the best of you. That's part of it. All right, turn it again. And just put that just as before, down the middle, and then into those, and then into those, and then round again, split that up, and then that one, into those. You see, not these lines, I am moving my whole hand, I say my whole, it's not just I'm moving this bit. I know you can't quite see it on screen, but you know, when you're doing it, it will help with the lines if you move the whole thing and not just sort of fit the wrist. There we go. Oh, brilliant. That's nice. Glad that your stuff's arriving. It's good. Oh, Nadia, thank you. Well, thank goodness I've got you, because it's dismal here too. Okay, so we've got this lovely little sort of zigzag rustic fence line going on. I mean, if we were to actually put little, you know, actually let's do it. Just little like dots here, like it looked like they were, yeah, they were nuts and bolts. Well, sort of hammered together. I should know that being a technology teacher, shouldn't I? There you go. Look at that. That looks great. Okay. So then, next bit. Are we ready for this? I'm going to go for, I'm not going to stop. Oh, yeah, I can do. I'm going to put in a bit of a curved line, joining one to the next. Same again. And again. And again. And finish that one off. Okay. So if I turn it round. Oh, Sally, no. I'll have a look at that. They're on sort of the same page kind of thing, and I think you have to sort of click and choose. But by all means, I'll have a look. And if not, just message me and I'll do it directly. Save any hassle. Okay. Oh, Barbara, see, you've got them fairies now. They're very addictive once you start one. Okay. So we've done this before, but I want to do them a little bit thinner today. See, it's quite narrow there. Because normally we'll do a fatter one and then we'll perhaps get one or maybe two either side, but I'd like to sort of extend it a little bit today and get a few more if we can. There you go, look, see, 3. You see what I've done there? I've just followed that line, taken it back to the point, back to the point, to the point, okay? All right, so I am just going to fill in those gaps. I mean, it looks nice when, you know, they're a bit wider, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I just wanted to change it up a little bit. There you go. Okay. So let's do the same here. I'm going to come in, really quite narrow, and then let's get 3 in this side again. So you're always going back to that point. And same this way. So there's 1, 2, 3. Always back to the point. And then let's just fill in those little gaps. There we go. So it's nice to just stop a moment, isn't it? And just add that black in. It just gives it that little bit of drama there. Alright, next one. Nice and thin. Yeah, it would make a nice border, wouldn't it? It's quite a nice one. Certainly, you know, you've got to consider, you know, if you're using the frames and you're marking the dots, you know, you'd get the corners in at the right amount and that'd be fine. You just have to make sure that, you know, when you go around the corners. But that would look lovely. Or even just across the bottom of your journal. I don't know if you all saw it. I did actually post a picture of my journal page from Wednesday, because I did say I was going to do that. I backed it onto a really bright yellow page, because if you remember it was sort of all monochrome with that bit of gold and silver, so that the bright yellow really brought it out. It was nice. I enjoyed doing that one. I must admit, you know, I don't always get the time to go back and finish them in the journal. I mean, I will, and they're there ready. It's just not always. Okay. So there we go. I've got one more on this end. So I'm going to really, really thin. And then I can get 3 in. Now, if you can't get 3 in, don't panic. I don't think you've messed your tile up. It's fine. You can go a little bit wider with them if you want to. You see? Just going to add that little bit of black in there. Oh, Joe, don't worry, because I'm going to do the other side as well, so that's fine. All right, just have a look at where we're at. There we go. All right, so then I'm going to do exactly the same that I've done here on this side, so it doesn't matter which end I start from. I'm going to perhaps see this one's just going to get maybe the end there. That's going to be a great starting point for putting it in your journal, isn't it? There we go, look, and there's the 3. So just as before, just fill in that little gap there. All right. And that one. I must admit as well, you know, I've seen some of the posts that you've been putting in from Wednesday and from the tile before that, and I'm pretty impressed. I think you've done a great job with them. Isn't it lovely having 3 tiles all mixed and matched at once? It means that you can make something a little bit bigger out of it. That's it. Oh, a little bit more. There we are. It's looking good, isn't it? Like this. So again, really thin. And just 1, 2. Just get another one in there. And the same again. All right. And you see how I just turn it to the side just to fill in those gaps. It's just a little bit easier. I don't sort of try and do something that's going to be awkward for you. It's going to be working. Do you know, it's lovely actually now, because seen some of you posting your owls that you're drawing. And it's true, you were drawing them, not me. You were doing it. And they're all so quirky, and they've all got different characters to them, and they're fab. I knew that once she got going with them, they're all going to be crazy. They're lovely. All right. And this one. All right. So there's that one. And then there into that one. And again, let's just fill in those little gaps there. Alright, now of course if you're doing it a little bit later on, you're not following along today, you could take your time with this. Oh, Liz, if you post them onto my other page, it's just Sandra Rushton. I don't know why we can't post on this page, I don't know, but everybody posts on that one, so you're more than welcome to post your pictures on there. Okay. So I'm going to do now, and I just think that this helps, putting a bubble in each of those corners there, just to sort of get going, you see, in each corner. Okay. And then from there, I'm just going to fill the rest with bubbles. So I'm just going to go around the edge, just taking my time. There we go. You can sort of gauge where you're coming to the end, so whether you've got to go a bit narrower. See there, I've got a space where I can get 2 in. So just fill them in. Now if you think you've got space and it's not going to quite do 2, then you know you're going to put 1 in. See there, look, I think because it's that muscle memory now, and I've got the, you know, the gaps. Oh, they come in. I can remember packing ours actually, so I know that yours went. So it'll be with you soon. There we go. All right. All right. Next one. Okay. Same again. So I'm just going to come in, and you can see there that I'm adding in little bubbles, just to get it going. And those, see, I'm going to work it to this end this time, because it doesn't matter if I don't quite get a full one there, and then work my way back down. All right, okay, and then all the way along. So you get into the, you know, the mode of this, and it's not about, you know, how much space have I got left. You just know it's going to be there. So it does work. You get the hang of it. There we go. All right, let's have a look at that. All right. Okay. So next bit then. Whew, we're ready for this. I've got quite a narrow space here, and what I want to do is you know, get a line in the middle if I can. So, you know, we talked about this, didn't we, about getting lines and straight lines, because I know this is going to be a little bit scary for some of you. So I did say what you could do is put a couple of tiles together. So this is slightly raised. You see a couple of tiles together, slightly raised. Let's just give it a straighter edge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my finger down that edge. You see how it's moving up and down? So I'm just going to sort of put my pen on, and let's just see. There we go. So you just work it all the way down. Doesn't have to be straight, but it's just giving you an idea, because I know we did that the other day. So I've got that bit of a line going down. Let's move them out of the way then. Okay, so now let's have a look here. I'm going to come in and I'm going to put in some more zigzags. This time they're going to be perhaps a little bit smaller than they were. Now again, if you've got quite a large area, that's fine. You can make them a little bit bigger. But you see, I'm not trying to make them fit in with the rest of the shape or anything. I'm just working my way down, just putting them in, okay? All right. So on this line, again, I'm going right up to the edge. I'm going to do like a mirror image, so I've got that going that way. Okay. See, they might not make a full triangle, but they might. Okay, all the way down. Right, see, that's going to sort of be about here. There you go. Okay. Oh God, I know. And I did used to do it on the end of the wooden tables at school. Yeah, I did. It's one of them things, but it works. Okay, here we go then. So I'm going to come a little bit larger so you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm going to put a, I'm going to put a little circle, a little bubble in each of those triangles. Let's do all of them as I'm going. So I'm going to do this row and that row. I know they're quite small. Yours might be a little bit larger. That's fine. Okay. Here, just in each little dot. Okay. Oh yeah, that might help actually if you're a friend on that page. Yeah. Working my way down. Okay, so I've got all these dots. Okay, so next little bit then. What I'm going to do in each triangle, I'm just going to join each corner of that triangle to that dot. Alright? Like that. Okay? So take each triangle in turn and just join the dots. There we go. See? So we're creating this different sort of a pattern going on here. You see, just from one to the other, all the way down. You see, I'm sort of reinforcing it a little bit. I'm actually going over my line twice, but you can just do it once if you like. You see? I've just reinforced it a little bit. Well, entirely up to you, whatever you want to do. Alright. Just make sure that your line is touching that little bubble that you've drawn. Alright. I'm working them on. Do you know, we sat and had lunch not so long ago. We worked out that it was only last Saturday I was on Create and Craft. I was like, my goodness me, really? It's just last weekend? This week's been really busy. It's been really good though, really good. Lots of new ideas as well I'm prepping for, so it's all that to come. Okay. And just still keeping it going, just drawing around each one of those little triangles. You see, when you think this started as a triangle, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I like this pattern. There we go. Bit there, like. Oh, okay, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so not looking too bad at all, is it, that? Now, we could go a little bit more with that, but I'm just going to modify it a little bit because it's quite fine and I think we don't want to really go too far that we can't sort of see it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sort of point here and I'm just going to add a little line. You see, just sort of, not all the way, but just so I'm sort of determining that centre bit. Okay? So let's do the same here. Again, just adding that line in. They don't all have to be the same length. It's just that I'm, giving it a little bit of a centre point almost. There we go. Alright. Now if yours are a little bit bigger than this, that's fine. You can add 2 lines or 3 lines in it. But it's quite narrow enough, so I'm just going to do the one. Oh, Bridget, thank you. You know, they are divine, they're lovely. And I say, what I've seen everybody doing, they're great. And if you're not sure, there's a video on my page, isn't there, showing all the creative team and all the work that they've done on the owls, as well as the original artworks on there too. So it's nice to have a little bit of a look, isn't it? A bit of inspiration. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at that then. Alright, so I suppose at the bottom here you might see the odd little bit of one there, but nothing much. I'm not going to do anything else with any of that. I'm going to leave that now. Oh, sorry Nadia. Yeah, it's just, I know it's a little bit confusing. If I do a quick one on the back, look, I actually drew a triangle. You've got to look for the triangles. We put a dot in and then we joined each one. If you focus on just that, on each triangle, then it'll come. So don't panic, don't worry about doing it now. You can fill that in a little bit later. As we're going to now turn our tables, so to speak, well, the tile anyway. We're going to have a look at this. Oh, it does a little bit, doesn't it? Lovely with a bit of holly and things. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for this, just to start with, is take a deep breath, because we are going to have to focus on this little bit. All right, I'm not one for, you know, telling you it's hard. It's not hard. It's just, I think you've got to watch and focus. So are we ready for this? Deep breath and we can do it. Okay. First ones don't seem so bad. It's just, you know, let's sort of see how we get on. So I'm not going to start at the point here. Let's go a bit bigger. Okay. I'm not going to start here. I'm just going to come up a little bit and I'm going to add in just a little loop. Just a little loop. Looks like a loop, doesn't it? There we go. Okay. And then let's just aura that line. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm taking it nice and steady, nice and slow, so we'll be fine. So now I'm going to come from about here and I'm going to create another loop. You see, I'm not trying to make it the same size, just another loop. Okay. And then I'm going to aura that line as well. Okay. So far, so good. Looks all right, doesn't it? So, okay, let's just take a look at this bit here. What I've got to do then here is I want to continue this line, but I'm going to go underneath there and I'm going to take it down to the bottom there. You see? Down to the bottom. So it looks like it's gone underneath. Okay? All right, moving on then. Here we go. I'm going to do another one. Now this one I'm going to do a little bit small. I want to make them different sizes on purpose. You see, it's a little bit smaller than that. Okay? And then again, I'm going to aura that line. And then if I look at this, you see here, I want to extend that line underneath into there. So I've got like, it looks like it's going underneath. All right? So here we go, another one. And I'm going to go from there to there. See, they're not the same at all. It's not about trying to get them all uniform. There we are. Oh, bit of a wobble. Well, that's all fine. Look at that. Oh, bless. A wobbly loop. And joining that underneath, okay? And then let's do the same again. A little bit bigger this time. It's because I'm doing it slow. That's right. Sometimes, you know, you slow down to sort of do the steps and it doesn't quite go as planned, but that's okay. All right. And then underneath and underneath. All right. And then here I'm just going to do this one. It's going to go off my page, but that's okay. And then again, look, it's going to go underneath and underneath. So let's have a look at that. All right, so you see where it's all sort of worked underneath everything. Okay. All right, so here we go then. So now I'm going to do one. Let's go from here. So I'm going to create another loop from there to there. Okay. I'm going to aura again from there to there. Okay, now let's just have a quick look at this. All right, let's go a bit larger. There we are. So as before, this one, I'm going to follow it through and it's going to go underneath. See, underneath. But now I've also got this end. And now here I've got to go underneath. Underneath. Okay. All right, let's do another. So I'm going to go a bit larger this time. I'm going to go round to there. Okay. And then let's follow that through again. Underneath. Okay. So let's have a look at this one. So this time, look, it's going to go underneath. And underneath. This time it's actually going under two of them. And then here, it's going to go underneath here and here. Alright, let's do another. Let's go a bit small so you can see it a little bit more in context now. Alright, so I'm going to do a smaller one. There to there, look. And then I'm going to aura as before. Okay. So let's work it on. Under there. And under there. And then on this side, underneath. Okay. So, next one. You see where this is going? Oh, did we? Yeah. Do you know all these things that come back from our past? And we just think, do you know what, we did that, or I used to do that, or I think if I was to still look at, I don't know, maybe look at all my old school books, I would probably find similar drawings and things without really knowing, or, you know, worrying about what it was or what it wasn't. It's interesting, isn't it, that we all used to do similar things. I always used to think that we were different or unique. We were in our own way. We do our little different quirky things, don't we? But they all come back to be similar in some ways. Okay, so I've started another row now, and this time, look, I'm going to go under as much as I can, and then again, and another one. Follow that. So I think doing this loop bit first, I think, gives you that little bit of a structure, so you can then work it down and get the rest in place. See, trying to put these in first would have been a little bit tricky, and it would affect the overall shape. Okay, and this one. You see, so it doesn't matter about shape, they don't have to be uniform. Okay, so I think perhaps I need to do a link, don't I, from my other page to this one, so everybody can find it. I'll have a look at doing that afterwards. All right. There we go. I think, here we go. Another one, just do a little one there, look. Oh, can we hear that wonderful noise in the background? Kettles on. And this one. So I'm just going to make sure that your lines are touching. I know I'm not quite close up to the picture. And then I'm just going to put one more in here. There we go. See, you can go as large or as wide or as narrow or as thin or whatever that you want to do with these. I mean, you could even just do a single row and put some little beads on and things. It's quite a nice one to do, and it gives you quite a bit of... I think I actually did do one, this particular pattern as an owl, you know, on the owl's chest once. It was one of those things. Okay, so the this little bit of space that's left, let's come in with, and again, whether you do a wavy line or a straight, we're after long and short dots. See, long and short. They don't all have to match, they don't all have to be at the bottom. There we go. See, just working it along. And I find that working towards me, it helps to sort of keep them, at the same angle, or so to speak. But we're not after perfection, and we're not after them all being the same. Some are making straighter than others. All right. Yeah, it's very different, isn't it, from Wednesdays? That was slightly more organic and obviously larger. So coming back to a smaller tile, it's quite cosy, isn't it? Oh, Bridget. Honestly, you don't have to keep up with them all. You really don't. It's whatever you can do, whatever you can manage. They're not going anywhere. I've not any plans to, get rid of any of the videos. And you know what? You don't have to do everyone. You don't have to. But even if there's one there and you just think, do you know what? I'm really not sure about this one. I think it's always great to, sort of sit down and think, well, even if I sketch it, I'm going to have a go. Because there's something that can be learned from each and every one. And you might find that you like the pattern, but not the way it's been put on the tile, so you can swap it up a little bit. But you've got to come out your comfort zone sometimes, I think. So I know there was one not far back where I did a lot of lines over the top of it once I'd done it, Don't do one if you're not sure. But if there's one that maybe, you think, I've done this and I don't like it, then maybe try the folding lines approach on that one and see how it changes it. Yeah? There we go. All right, let's have a look at what we've done here. Okay. All right, look at that. Doesn't matter which way. Actually looks a little like, I suppose, a little curtains type of effect there. But it doesn't really matter which way you look at it. I like that. Okay. So this would be the point where we'd normally get our pencil out and our tortillon, and we'd start to shade it and all that kind of thing, and it'll look beautiful as it is. But as you know, we never take the easy route, do we? No, we don't. We're going to try it with a little bit of colour in. So what I'm going to do, I have got my pack of 24 here, so I've got quite a few colours to sort of play with, but it really doesn't matter. Use, whatever colours you've got, it's fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm coming in, I'm going to use the brush ends. Okay. And what I'm going to do, just where I would perhaps normally put, my pencil, I'm just going to add a little bit of pen. See there, just underneath, that's where my pencil would normally go. And if you're going to just go in with pencil, fine, that's where you'd put it. And use your tortillon to smooth it out. So you can see that I'm not colouring it in, I'm just adding some colour. There's a difference. Yeah, and this is why, and I'm going to show you in a little while, why I'm using the cartridge tile paper, not the, the super smooths. All right, I'm going to bring a bit of orange in. Yeah, just brush a bit in there. As you see, just adding touch. So I'm not trying to blend it or anything. I'm just adding some colour. You see, and I might even come in. I've got a paler orange there, just add a little bit of that paler orange in. See, even less of it. And then a bit of yellow. So, hang on a second, I'm going to come in and just do a little bit of orange in that bit there. Okay. Lid on. And you see, just along here, I'm just going to add some of that yellow. Yeah, let's add a little bit down here as well. Okay. Now, I know this is just something that you might want to watch before you go for it, just in case. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of green just around some of the edges. I know it's looking particularly scruffy, So don't think, oh my goodness, Sandra's gone mad. That ship has already sailed. What else have I got? I'm going to come in with a little bit of, what shall I do? I've got a bit of a light blue. A little bit of a light blue look under here. You see, I'm not even following the lines particularly, I'm just giving it a little bit of something to go on. Okay? So, okay, here we go with this next bit. So, of course, I've got the red there. So I'm going to come in and add some purple. You see, I'm going in, well, it's more of a magenta, I suppose, isn't it? There we go. See, not particularly colouring as before. Let's have a look. So I've got another bit of a purple here. It's a bit brave, this. You know, all that time we've just spent on this tile, and what am I doing? I'm just going over it with loads of colour. I'm just going to add that little bit in there as well. See, I'm not worrying about those little bubbles. If I want anything white, I can come back and do that in a short while. And a little bit of pink, look. Now again, my pink, I'm just going to come in and add a touch, you know, just around that bottom edge there. Okay. Maybe add a little bit in those there, maybe a touch in there. See, literally I'm not colouring in at all, just added colour. Let's have a look at that, where we're at. Okay. Whew. Alright, it's at this point that I'm going to come in and bring in my little clear mat, my mat, because obviously I don't want to spoil my board. Alright, so then here's my water spritzer. And this is where you think, oh my goodness, what we're doing. Oh, quick sip of tea, here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray it with the water. And I'm really adding some spray, you see. So all that work that we did, let's just move it around a little bit. Let's just come on in and add some of that colour. Now, if at this point, if you want to, if you throw a little bit of salt on there and seriously just leave it and don't do anything with it until it's dry, that would look pretty interesting. It's going to take some of the, there we go. It'll take some of the sort of water off it, but I don't have any with me today, so I'm going to leave it at that. Now, don't touch it, leave it to dry. All right, does that make sense? So everybody okay with that? We've got the idea. I mean, we could come in and if you want a bit more colour to it, so I know we used a bit of green down that bottom edge. If I come in, look, and add a little bit more green. Okay, let's just add a touch of yellow as well. Again, just a bit of spritz. There we go. There we go. But the idea is we've sort of kept the colour where we're going to put it. See, I've got a bit more green there. All right, so that's going to dry. So I'm going to move that over to one side. Now, obviously, you can't follow me with doing that today, but I just want to show you a couple of things. If you'd have done that on a super smooth tile, let's go with that bit. This is what would have happened. It won't move. You'll get the bright colour, but it actually won't move, so you don't want to be doing that. If you think, do you know what, then I'm going to be dead clever and I'm just going to draw it all using those pens, that's what'll happen. Okay. All right, so that's sort of where we're heading. You can sort of still see, look, where I did draw it, and you can still see some of it, but it's totally, utterly gone, hasn't it? But I've got this one. He's the third one. And you can see here, look, that I actually drew the same patterns that we've done, and you can see that I added some salt, so these extra little bits are where the salt soaked all the water up, took some of the colour, and it's given it quite a nice texture. So you're going to get the same sort of effect once it's dry. So if I just bring that one back in a second, there we go. You see, there's that one. It's still very wet, so I can't do anything with it. And that's it when it's dry. I know it's a square circle, but you get the hang of it. And it means now that you can actually do a little bit more work on it. So let's just sort of make it a bit larger. And this is where my coloured pencils come in. So, for example, you can see this section here, we've got some bits of blue, and that's because it was more controlled as to where I was putting the colour. So if I come in with my blue pencil and just add in a little bit of it, and of course if you want to while you're here, you can actually come in here and you can just add in some pencil with your tortillon. There we go. You see, I'm just adding a little bit in. There we go. Just enough to sort of give it a bit of... So now see here, it's a bit more purple, isn't it? So what I can do with that one, see that's got a bit of blue in there. Let's go on in and bring in that purple. There you go. Alright, and same on this side. So you see, because I've got that background starting it, it's got a lovely sort of feel to it, but then adding a little bit of the pencil over the top. I'm not trying to colour it in, I'm just, as before, I'm just adding a little bit of an extra shadow. Lindsay, these are just the regular pencils, because I've done all the water bits with the pens, because I know there's quite a few of you now that have got these pens, so I just thought it'd be nice to sort of show you how you can incorporate them as well as them just being for, you know, for drawing or tangling with. There we go, you see, adding a touch there. Now on this side, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to use the blue. You see, I'm sort of almost matching it colour for colour where I want it to go. There we are. And then of course, as I didn't do it earlier, I'm going to come in with my black pencil. I'm just going to add in the black. See to those. Oops, I do apologise, I was out the way then. See, just adding in the black to those. So now this is a very arty one, but again, I think if I give you the options to show you how it can be done slightly differently, and if you want to just go ahead and do it with your pencil and tortillon, that's absolutely fine. But I'm all about giving you that bit of a challenge and just sort of pushing your boundaries. There we go, you see? Oh, Gail, you made it! Hey! Okay, now you're thinking, what on earth she's been doing, aren't you? But lots of things going on here. But you can see, this isn't going to take as long as if you were going to use the whole thing and colour it in specially, because we really didn't take long applying that pen colour, did we? Let's have a look at it. You see? So of course now here we've got these extra bits, so I could go in with the purple. I'm just going to come in with a bit of the black. I'm going to take it down the whole thing. See? Put a bit further down there. Just add in that little bit of shadow that side and turn it round. See, this is a slightly different variation of what I think we did on the tile earlier, but same sort of thing going on. Okay, so that gives that a little bit more depth. I think here, see where I've got some red, so if I come on in and add in some of that red, see, I'm not worried about them bubbles, they're underneath, that's fine. Okay, and then here I'm just going to come in again and just see where I've got bits of red. I'm just going to come in and add a touch. Let's go a little bit larger, you see. So I'm not trying to smooth it in or blend it, I'm just being really gentle and just adding a little bit. I'm keeping that texture of those pencils. See here, I've got a bit more of an orange than a red, so let's bring that orange in. I'll just add a touch of that orange. You see, I'm just adding bits in places, and what it's going to start to do is add a bit of that depth that we need. See, there's quite a bit of green there, isn't there? So I'm not going to do too much orange, just a little bit. See, there's more yellow, but depends what you want to do. just going to add a little bit more orange in. Okay, and then under here, just sort of deepen that a little bit. Okay. Alright, now the last thing I want to do is you know, spoil it or add something that's not there. So I'm going to come in with the dark green. Let's have a look at that. Because if I was to put black on here, I think it'd look a bit too strong. So just a little bit, you see, just in some of the areas, because I've got quite a bit of green pencil or pen that's been washed in there. I'm just going to add a bit of green. But if yours is blue or red, then go ahead and add a little bit of red. Look at what your most common colour is in that area. And just fill it in with that kind of colour. See, I've just got a little bit on the edge. Okay, so just coming then to this section here, and it's backing with that red. And again, same pattern, but it's just slightly different. And I'm just going to add a touch around those centres. So that's something that we did do with ours, isn't it? We did sort of give it a centre. So I'm just coming back in and just adding a touch of colour around it. Okay. Now looking at my tile, it's not dry yet, but it's flattened out now because, as you know, it'll curl when it's wet. Just leave it be. Let it do its own thing. Let's have a look at that. Okay. Oh, it's got a bit larger. So you've got this really nice sort of pattern going on. Let's just bring it out just a touch more though. I'm going to come back in with my pen. Oh, Nadia, I understand. I know it's not always easy, but hopefully I go through it and take my time with it enough that you can actually sort of get a grasp of what I'm doing. It's all about practice. It's just about having a go. Just go for it. So you see what I've done there? I've just taken one of the lines. I've just taken the bottom line, and I'm just going over it, just to sort of redefine that edge and bring it back out a little bit. See? Just that one line. I think if we did all of it, you'd be like, well, why am I drawing it again? That's not what we're after. I know, Rhiannon, yeah, we've changed it a little bit. Okay, see this one here. Now, if you've decided that you want to put this thicker line, you want to redefine the inside line, it's absolutely fine. It's whatever you want to do. It's just that I've put that green sort of shadow effect there, haven't I? So I was just going to go with that. There we go, see that bit underneath? You know, if it doesn't quite match perfectly, that's fine. It's all a bit of a arty type of piece, so it'll be very, very forgiving if things aren't exactly in the same place. There we go. Okay. Chris, I know. Do you know, Chris, I actually looked for mine the other week and I couldn't find a single one. And Leslie brought some into the office because she's like, I'll bring one in for you. And I got to the office and we looked in my box and there was about 6 in there. It's crazy. I know. Oh dear. Okay, I'm just going to bring back that line. You see, remember that sort of first curve that we did there? And again, it's redefining it. It's always been there. I'm just sort of bringing it out to the foreground a little bit. And I'm certainly not going to do this with everything. It just helps bring certain things more forward. Okay. So if I wanted to, let's have a look. You know, we've got all these bubbles. I think actually it might be. Let's just have a look. It's not going to take long. Let's just work our way around and just put those bubbles back in. You know, they're sort of like standing at the front of everything. Oh, you're on, yeah. Do you know what? I've got something planned. There's something coming. I've definitely got on the boil, so to speak, and it's almost ready to bring out. I have sort of mentioned it in I think one of my videos, but only in passing. I've just got to sort of formulate the last few bits and pieces, but yeah, I think definitely we should have, you know, little newsletters and stuff like that. That'd be lovely, just so we know what's going on. There we are. Mind you, some days I'd like to know what's going on. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to bring in my white pen. That's one I've always got handy. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add, there we go, is it going to let me? Yeah, just a little dot, you see, on each of those little bubbles there. Just, you know, just a dot. Doesn't matter if they're not all in the same place. They're only quite small anyway. But it's just going to bring it a little bit of light in there, just on that sort of edge. All right, let's have a look at that. Sandra fan club. Come on, calm down. What you like? That's only for celebrities. Just me. Yeah. Okay, just those little bits, you see? I'm just working my way around. Okay, let's have a look at that. All right, so from very, very first little bits, I mean, as I say, if you would have just drawn it with these pens, lovely as they are, that's what you would have ended up with. Then you see all that hard work and effort that went in. And I did it just to sort of show you where it was going to do. To that, I mean, if I bring in the other one, it's sort of dry, it's still a bit damp. You can see where it sort of starts, and I've definitely got certain colours in areas, so I've really controlled where I'm putting the colour. But then to do this, to actually add that little bit of colour in there, of course, if you want to do a grayscale and use pencil over the top, then that's absolutely fine. You can do that. It's entirely whatever you want to do with it. So I just needed a little bit more there. There we go. So yeah, don't sort of get a little bit crazy and go on the super smooth ones. We don't want to be using them on them. They're great with pencils and the pastels. But you know, if you're going to use water, use it on the cartridge tiles. So I think that one, actually, I don't even know which way around I like that. I think maybe that one. I think that deserves a signature. There we go. So for tile number 83, I know it started out as a square, but, you know, it just goes to show, doesn't it? You can use different shapes. I mean, of course, if you've got the dies, you can cut the circles out anyway from the cartridge paper, so it still gives you the same sort of amount of space, so to speak, to play with, so you know you're going to get the right paper. But yeah, have a play. Obviously put something underneath it. You know, you don't want to be spritzing and spraying straight onto your board, because our boards are quite precious. I know we use them, but until I go on tour. Barbara, we do have a tour bus. We do actually, I mean, it needs a bit of work, but it is a bus. And it was purely because with a van, you know, going to shows and things, you do find that you've got to keep lifting stuff in and out. But with a bus, this is John's crazy idea. With a bus, you can wheel stuff straight in on the display racks, and you can wheel them straight out, no problem. But bless it, it needs a little bit of work. It's sat there looking a bit sad, but we'll get there. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one. And again, very different, but isn't that what I'm here to do, is to just sort of shake you up a little bit and get you to try something you might not have thought about in the past. So have a go at it, see where it goes. And say if you don't want to use the pens, it's fine, stick with the pencils. I know. I'm going to read it later, I really am. So yeah, have a play with it and see where you head, you know, add a bit of gel pen with it and stuff like that as well. It looked quite nice, I think. So I hope you've enjoyed it. have a great weekend. And yeah, I will. Well, Marie's back on Monday. She's doing owls on Monday. So if you've got any questions, if there's anything that you wanna know or see how she does it, then either message me or message her. And I will see you back again here on Wednesday. All right, you take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye.